Gentlemen, how are you?
Hi, doing well. How are you?
Happy to be here.
Well, I wish it was under happier circumstances, maybe a little later in the race, but
Life happens.
I,
Get
I
over it.
I thought your positivity was really admirable at the end. You were still having a great time, really had a great outlook, and I very much enjoyed that. So I would love to know a little bit more about where do you think where do you think you might have tripped up?
It was not our fault. It was Phil and all the producers' fault because they were supposed to get a lot of older and heavier contestants against us, and they didn't do it. So
I'll
They got
file a
people that
complaint.
it's their
they got
fault.
people that could actually run. What were they thinking?
Um, so the answer, and any one of the teams would tell you it's the luck of the draw, which
Hmm.
cab you got in. Um, um, it's so random when you get a break or when you screw up and it works out to your advantage. Um, and things just didn't work out our way one too many times.
And it's like people don't realize you're doing so much so fast. You mess up or get one bad taxi, it can mess you up. You know, because it's not like you're competing over a week where you have plenty of time to rebound. This is in minutes you're talking about, so that can hurt you.
Well, was that surprising to you when you were out there? Obviously, the two of you are big fans of the show. How different was it from what you expected?
It's
Um,
what surprised me is how much on this leg we're in taxes. It's like um, I think we're in five different taxis. So you're always having to depend on it. And one time we had to get a clue, and we didn't realize we should have kept our taxi. If we kept our taxi, we literally had to jog maybe a half mile, 4 blocks or so to finally find a taxi that would pick us up. And that got us behind 15 minutes. And what a lot of people don't realize there at the very end, between the black team, the yellow team, and us, it's probably less than a minute. When we were pulling up, they were getting out of their taxi. So that's how close we all three were at the very end. So a minute, made a big difference. So, and I never realized that on the show. You think they'll get here in about an hour, somebody else shows up, and it's bam, bam, bam on that leg at least. So
Yeah, I think it can certainly vary, but I think you're right. Like the timing, the editing can stretch that out or they can condense it.
yes.
So the two of you seemed like you were in absurdly good shape for your age. Did you do anything special to prepare to come on the show?
I drank light beer
Mm,
and got rid of the heavy beer. No,
that's a
uh,
very good move.
yeah. Actually, I was getting up 3 a.m. every morning, going to a place called Hot Works, doing hot yoga. I was doing that, leaving there, going working out at a gym. A lot of walking, and like I said, what a lot of people don't realize, as soon as we got off the plane, we're running, and somebody stopped in front of me, and I planted my leg, and I could feel the tendon in my knee go.
No.
So I was messed up from. I was doing a little hobbling there. I couldn't keep up with Marcus as well as I like to have kept up with him. So, but yeah, you got to take it serious because it's like I said, this year the people on the show, they're athletes. You can just look at them and tell they're they're good. So,
Yeah, what did you think about having 14 teams at the starting line? Like, what was going through your head when you saw that?
Mark,
Nothing. They try to change it up. I mean,
Mm,
sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 14. And you know from knowing the show, if you have a big number like that, there's no non-elimination legs. I mean, you just figure those things are coming. They increase the pace of the show when they do a fork in the road, double elimination right off the bat. Cool stuff, changing it up. But more teams, more fun. More personalities.
Yeah, it seems like such a great group. I'm excited to follow the season already. What I want to hear about the fork in the road though. What did you make of that? Like, did you have any strategy to what side you chose, or was it surprising to see a new twist right off the bat?
Well, we didn't know it was going to be dance and sing and dance. It could have been cut down a tree or cut down something else. You never
Mm.
know what the fork's going to be. And we knew we couldn't sing. I mean, we just knew that part, especially in a different language. And so we took the dance, and because there's still a couple of slots behind us, and we knew that Jackie and them were over an hour behind. So we're hoping they would jump on that side, but the yellow team jumped at the last slot. And we were hoping they would go on the other side, but it's a luck of a draw there. So
Yeah, you seem very zen about all the things that are out of your control. I think that's a really healthy attitude.
hey, we've been firefighters for over 25 years, both of us, and you got to take what you can get. That's it. Whatever's dealt to you, got to deal with it right then. So.
Yeah, I can imagine the two of you are accustomed to being under pressure.
Yes,
Like that song.
yeah. Always signing up for competitions, always, staying in the fast lane, and being on the fire department. The tones drop and you jump on the rescue equipment and you rush to somebody having a bad day, and we're there to help them have a good day. Having a good family, a good home life, a good church life. All that helps. We got a whole lot to be happy about. Just because we didn't finish first in the Amazing Race. The Amazing Race is still a bucket list item for probably half of the people in America.
Mhm.
So
we
I
got
mean,
on the dance floor. That's the main thing. We were dancing.
we got on it and we passed, and we got off the dance floor.
That's right.
We did it.
But
So
not
we
quit.
can dance.
Yeah, you got through it, right?
That's
That's
right.
right.
So tell me a little bit about your history with the show. Like, how long have you been fans? How long have you wanted to be on the show? When did you decide that you were going to make a serious go at it?
So
I've
I
only
guess
been
I'll take the lead on that because it was my wife that started out watching it. She's a couch potato. She is scared to climb, up a tree, a limb that's 3 foot off the ground, and watching it and just saying, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy. These people are crazy." And she said, "You got to come here and watch this." So you got to watch shows with your wife. And so I started watching with her back early, 2000, 2001, 2, 5. We've been super fans all along, and don't know how all these people do it, but all these young people can sign up for these things and be gone for 2 months. So at that time, we were both busy working, raising kids, working 2 jobs, taking off for 2 months. It just wasn't in the cards. So we had to get old and retired before we could sign up.
That's right.
But glad to do it.
Yeah, Larry, I got to call out your fantastic Amazing Race shirt and hat combo. You look good.
Hey, like that.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
They don't match.
They say the same thing.
Thank you. See, I had to put up with that for a month.
Whole month. Wow.
A
So
lifetime.
did anything change about your relationship while you were out there?
No. He hit the wrong button. I'm sure that was an accident. No, we've been friends since our late 20s.
Wow.
When we met, we were both married. We both got divorces. We both lived together. We both went through a career on the fire department together. We each got remarried. We have lived a life around each other and being friends. We went through a lot of ebb and flows, ups and downs, and we are just friends so long. It's just a thing, and it's just he's like my right arm. So this was just another experience that we had to share together.
I could
Um,
see that the two of you have traveled a lot together. I think that must have made a big difference in your race and your ability to communicate.
Yeah.
So one thing that Phil always says, and it's one of my favorite things that he says, is that when you cross something off your bucket list, you got to put
Right.
something else back on your bucket list. So
Yeah.
have you put something else on yet?
So mine is always it's always so I have applied to Survivor multiple times. Tough as Nails, The Amazing Race. And Larry was, so there's a learning process, but I'm always signing up for Spartan races for just life. We will I mean, we both ride motorcycles. We're in a firefighter motorcycle club, and we go all over the country with that. Going on cruises. My wife and I just signed up for a cruise for September. I try to keep my life full of just, life is one moment after another. I don't have anything that I put in my bucket list. I think my bucket is a free flowing thing that I just fly by the seat of my pants.
Your bucket list is an actual bucket.
It is a bucket, and I'm in it with my list.
I absolutely love that, Mark. That's fantastic. Well,
Emergency.
I want to. So, do you have to go fight a fire right now?
1-2.
Um,
Abdominal pain. 1414 Alhambra
No.
Drive.
Okay.
2311.
I'm gonna
Squad 2.
silence you so you don't hear this.
Okay. Well,
Fort Alhambra.
I think we're about out of time anyway. But I want to thank both of you for taking time to chat with me. Really fun watching you on the show. Wish you all the best. And thanks very much for everything.
Thank you, Jessica. Good talking to you.
Jackie and Lauren, hello.
Hi, Jessica. We know your voice. It's so funny to finally be here. Like, literally, that's Jessica. Oh, Jessica.
That's so funny. Well, I got to respect a good glasses game here.
Oh, you know. And by the
Okay.
way, never told each other to buy, like we always have the same.
It's that
something.
sister
It's
thing.
beautiful. Yeah. It's little relative telepathy right there. Yeah, it's awesome. And I love the ones you had on the show as well.
Oh, thanks.
So I'm devastated to see the two of you going out because I was so hyped. You had such great social media going into this, and you seemed like you had so much good energy. And was it really just down to missing that one ferry?
Yeah, dude. Yes. I mean, because we all would have had those things and we would have been like so close. And the other part was like, because we missed that ferry, you couldn't see, it started pouring down. It went from a little drizzle and the sun being out to fully pouring down. I was holding there was a scene, I was holding both of the backpacks, and I was holding not just because she was there, because it was wet. There was no place to put it on the ground. I mean, it was, and if we would have been on that time, we who knows how much faster Lauren would have been able to go up, there not being, all of that rain.
I don't know if you've ever tried to climb a bamboo tower in the rain, but
I have not.
Yeah. 1 star. Do not recommend.
I think it might have been easier if there'd been buns all over it.
Oh, I'd have been.
Buns. I saw that too. I was like, where is buns at?
Yeah, but every second counts, as we found out, and who knows what would have happened. We were actually at the dock of the ferry. The boat was still there with all the teams on it, and we begged them to let us on, but I'm sure they couldn't bend the rules just for maybe they could have, but she thought about it for a minute.
Yeah.
And when we saw it pull off, we were just gutted. We were devastated. So,
Right.
but we still ran as hard as we could after that. No doubt.
We wouldn't have known you were devastated because you still kept up the positive attitude. And I really loved that about you.
But that's because you never know with the race. Anything could happen. Someone on that boat, they could be disqualified wherever they're going. Their taxi could go the wrong direction. They could, get totally turned around. So you never think about, you can't focus in on, Never. You run it all the way through to the mat as hard as you can, and then you let, the decision be told to you at that point. So we weren't focused on that at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I love that. And I would love to know what you thought of the fork in the road, because you're big fans. Did you anticipate you were going to get a brand new twist? And how do you think that would have been different if you'd been able to choose?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is we've watched every single episode and it was on 24/7. So, we'd have these moments where it's like, who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? Ah, we've got it down. We strategized, we did all the things. And then they're like, oh, we've got something new. We were like, we couldn't have planned for that.
Right.
There's something, we did not put that in our strategy.
Right.
So it was kind of,
But the good news is we loved both of them. We got excited. We ran up to the side and we saw dance and sing.
right.
Favorite things to do. Like every day we dance and sing and just act a fool. So it didn't matter. It was like any, meeny, miny, mo. However, what we would have done if we had a choice was strategize. We would have looked at which teams were on which sides and tried to determine what strengths. For example, there are teams who are professional dancers.
Yeah, that.
Maybe there's someone that we know that may not have been their strength. So we would have, because we're probably equally matched for both. That's what the deciding factor would have been. What teams had already selected which ones. And yeah.
Lauren said we had a spoon. We didn't have a fork.
We slapped our hands like we're singing.
Yeah.
And even when we were watching the show last night, when they showed like who had completed the dance part, there was like half of the singers had not completed it. I literally felt when we were sitting on the couch, we have a chance. Like it was like reliving the whole thing. It was like we had no visibility into how people completed the task. We had no idea that there were that many spots still open. And I was like, wow. So yeah, we probably still would have gone with sing though.
Yeah.
Because obviously you saw.
It was amazing.
Right? We are now,
songbirds.
international opera singers.
Yeah. Have you gotten your Cantonese record deal yet?
No, oddly, but because we couldn't tell them.
Yeah.
But now that they know, ask me again next week.
The offers are going to be pouring in.
You see our social media skills. Somebody's gonna see. Oh yeah.
You can build a platform for sure. I would love to know how that task went for you ultimately, because we didn't get to see very much of you performing it. Like, did you have to do a lot of tries? How'd that go?
We had to do a lot of
A lot of
tries. And that's why, because we were like singing, yeah, we can do that. And we're learning it. We're like, okay. And then they were like, no, like you have to sing this part, you have to sing this part. And then when they said that note that Lauren had, I was cracking up because I was like, girl,
I gave it everything. I gave it all. I went Beyonce on it. I did. Not gonna lie, but fully committed. Yeah, you got to admit, we fully committed to it. So did all the other teams. We loved watching them singing. So it's very hard. And also what doesn't come through on the show is the rehearsal space. The stage and all that was in one level. We had to go to a whole different section. So you're using energy running back and forth every time you had to go back and practice, in full garb,
And obviously, not very common for us to be like walking around looking like that. And at one point we sang and then we got a correction. They tell us, and there's a woman stood up. I was like, oh God. Because we, as fans of the race, that's probably a really famous opera singer sitting there. Correction. And our scouts, our teachers were like,
please,
y'all
exit.
get off the stage. And we're like, oh no. We've insulted all of the people, all the famous Cantonese opera singers. We've offended them. It was funny.
We already knew going into this is the opportunity of a lifetime. When would we ever get to sing at that opera house in Hong Kong? It has a history that's deep and like amazing.
Right.
We found out, after we went back and researched it. So, that was quite an experience. And we didn't want to let them down. We were feeling like we want to get this right. We want to honor, we want to get it right. And it was hard. And it was, I'm gonna leave it right there. We got through it. We did it.
And you looked great in the process too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
So, so Jackie, I want to talk a little bit about when you had to climb the stairs to the Buddha, because there was this moment, like two of you, like I was legit, I had a little lump in my throat.
Mm.
Watching the two of you get through this. And Lauren, you said the most beautiful thing to her, that somebody out there is going to watch this and it might not be stairs for them, but it'll be something. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. So I would love to know, um, has that, was this an opportunity for you? Do you feel like you've come through your fear and like come out the other side a little bit?
I do. The thing is, it was a fear, but then it was also kind of like a secret because it's like a really weird thing. People just know that I'm slow on stairs,
Mhm.
right? And they know that I hold guardrails, which, everybody, this is, what happened, didn't realize. My family knows, like my husband knows. And so in doing it and in planning, we didn't anticipate, you can't anticipate all those things. It was raining and these are these marble stairs and there's a bunch of them and we're racing. And so I was really terrified, but I was saying earlier, I went to a basketball game last week and I had to hold the popcorn and there was no guardrails. And I wanted to call my sister and be like, oh my God, I went down the stairs without a guardrail. And, like, 3,000 other people. But I was like, oh, like, look, because it was something that now when you see me on stairs, I'm always attacking the stairs, no matter where we are, because it's like, I know I can do this. But every time I watched it in the commercial, I was like, it just kept looking like those cartoon staircases. Like it just kept looking like it was longer. I was like, that's a lot of stairs because this whole time I've kind of regretted, like that's been the thing that I think about, like, oh God, if you could have just gotten that thing with the stairs. But when we looked at it, I was like, that's a lot of freaking stairs. And it was what I didn't dream that that would have been really scary for me. And I was scared for her, right? Like I know that I can do it now, but I was scared for her watching. And that moment, I never wanted to talk about it, but Lauren did say that. She was like, you helped someone. And immediately the day after watching the race, someone reached out to me and said, I didn't know that. I have a fear of escalators. And it's somebody that I've known for years. And I know there's other people that saw that and could recognize having one of those fears.
And it's not like that's something we've experienced together every week. I had never experienced that with her on that level. So that was real time in the moment. Oh, matter of fact, I had run down the steps to the taxi and I turned around and she was still up on the stairs. So I ran back up the stairs because I didn't realize that's what was going on. I thought she was right behind me. And I was like, oh no, we're in this together. You don't run a race by yourself. It's like I'm only as fast as she is and she's only as fast as I am. So we have to get through this together. And it's like, okay, what do we need to do? Boom, boom, boom.
I think people don't recognize, and I hadn't said this until this moment, we're going down the stairs and part of it's because you're going down, right? And it's wet and it's slippery. Like I said, I had slipped down the whole flight of stairs, but we had a 13 pounds on our back. So it was pushing every time we were going. So I was even more hesitant to go because every time you go, you're weighted. And so I couldn't even adjust like with that, trying to keep all those things in mind. And so I was like, but then it was also made me feel safe. I feel like there's a safety with Lauren is, she's my big sister. She's my hero. She's always there.
Look, next thing up, I was going to put her on my back and we were going down the steps together, period.
Yeah.
That,
we were going to get down.
we were going to, yeah,
We were
absolutely.
going to get down there.
100.
Push me down and drag me down the stairs.
Slide. We were going to do something, put your backpacks in, go on like a sled. I don't know. When you're on the race, you don't even give yourself an option of not doing something. It's just figuring out how in the moment. So period.
That's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, those were the most extreme stairs, like all of those factors on top of each other. It's not like just a random stairs. It's
right.
Wet.
I'm not afraid of steps. Like it's not like I see a thing like that. I'm like, no, there was a lot of things going on to it. And also wanting to win and having that full adrenaline of all that's going with, this is the moment. And when we were driving, you didn't get to see this. When we were driving, you looked up and there was this thing that looked like this. And I'm like, what's that? They're like, oh, that's the Buddha that we're taking you to. And I was like,
okay.
Oh. And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And we're like, whoa. And it's huge.
It was glorious. Fantastic. I got to tell you, when we watched the stair scene for the Teen Tang Buddha, watching it on television last night for the first time, again, we had no visibility to the other teams. Just watching people being out of breath when they got to the clue box, we were like, dude, we nailed it, because we were out of breath too. And we thought we're the only ones who were
Right.
out of breath. We figured everybody else just ran up there, grabbed the clue, and ran back down. And it was like, oh, so encouraging. Like, and that's when we're waking up today, we got to see others' experience. And it just really helped us feel like, woohoo, we did that. We actually did it. So, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, yeah, it's an objectively hard thing, and everybody had trouble with it for sure. Is there anything else that you want people to know that we might not have been able to see when we were watching it at home?
Good question.
I just want people to know, I know when you're watching it, I hope people don't think that like our age plays into those things, right? There's different things that played into that. But I don't want anybody to feel like that's a hesitation of not going on the race. It is a race. You never know what is going on. And I think that was part of why it was nice to see other people huffing and puffing, because it's like, we're totally fit, right? So, we're in the best shape of our lives. And we were like, wait, are we? We but it's like, you can do this. You can do this. And so if it's a dream, I just want people to make sure that they still live that dream.
Absolutely. It's like, who does this? We decided at 50 and 60 to run the race. And I hope, it would make our day. It was someone else out there who is of age, or whatever they think may be the reason they're not going on the show. Every show, there seems to be a team that helps break a stereotype or shine the light on an issue that helps take the bonds away from someone and make them think, I can do this. And it's just, I hope that we are that for someone else's season, and for someone else to hit that apply button, because it is, I'm telling you, it is the experience of a lifetime. And no matter how it turns out, I just don't feel like we wouldn't regret a single moment of the process and the journey.
And most of all, just to live life.
Yeah.
Don't wait. You
Yeah.
don't wait until you're going to retire.
Right.
Just do the thing.
Do the thing.
Buy the purse. Do the thing, whatever it is, because you don't get that time back. You just don't get it back.
It's so true. And it's been really, it was absolutely lovely watching you. I think people at home will definitely be inspired by all of that. So Jackie and Lauren, I want to thank you one more time for taking the time to talk with me today. Loved watching you on the race, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you, Jessica.
No, Jessica. She's cool.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.